Well, Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte are all stars and deservedly so. We are going to talk about them and maybe not so much about how the Arizona Diamondbacks just lost their series to the Kansas City Royals. We're doing this in 30 seconds. Don't you guys go anywhere. Ski and welcome in to another edition of the PHNX Diamondbacks podcast right here on PHNX. I don't even know if we should be using that music. We should maybe be using the Lost music. I don't know, but welcome in to you guys. Happy Monday to you all. As you know, my name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as your mayor of PHNX, soon to be mayor of some beach in Puerto Rico. I got my guy Ayrton on the ones and twos today. Damon has the day off, mostly because he's ashamed that he didn't bring more luck to the Diamondbacks at our PHNX pool party, but that's not his fault. It's Shane's fault, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. Of course, this show is brought to you by our friends over at Bet365 and Game Time. Make sure to download the Bet365 app and use our code PHNX365 when you sign up. You'll get yourself some bonus bets for following some easy steps. Over at Game Time, use our code of PHNX on your first purchase, and you'll get $20 off that purchase to events, concerts, and maybe games not starring the Arizona Diamondbacks. But before we get into the terribleness that was the 3-game series against the Kansas City Royals, we first have very good news to talk about, and that is that Corbin Carroll and Eugenio Suárez have been named to the NL All-Star team. Geno and the Jet, essentially, is what I'm calling them now. But this was a great honor. Didn't know necessarily if we would see Corbin Carroll get in, although he was one of the top outfield vote getters, despite not getting voted in by the fans. And then, obviously, with what Suárez has done this season, he has had an impressive year and absolutely deserves to be a part of the All-Star team. Didn't know, once again, if these guys would make it in, but it's great to see that they were honored this way by their peers. Great to see them obviously getting the nod. For Corbin, it's his second All-Star selection. He was selected in 2023 by the fan selection in left field. He is the 12th Arizona Diamondback to earn multiple All-Star selections, joining Paul Goldschmidt, Gonzo, Randy Johnson, Zach Greinke, Brandon Webb, Ketel Marte, Patrick Corbin, Dan Herron, Miguel Montero, Kurt Schilling, and Justin Upton. Entering today, he ranked among MLB leaders in triples, slugging, ranked among primary outfield in slugging and homers as well. He's tied for 8th with 20 home runs for outfielders. Back in 2023, at 22 years old, he was the youngest fan-elected starter on either roster and the lone rookie on the National League team. He became the first Arizona Diamondback to earn a fan-elected start, first rookie position player to be named an All-Star to an All-Star team, and second rookie overall, along with Wade Miley, who did it back in 2012. So we know Corbin's been having himself an outstanding season. Thought maybe the hand injury would hold him back, but nope. Corbin was brought back from the IL, and of course he recovers from an injury faster than any human being alive. Again, it was funny to me when Torey kept talking about how Corbin was working his way back so quickly, because I don't know how you heal bones faster by working out. That doesn't seem like something that any human being can actually do, but yet somehow Corbin Carroll managed to do so. If the Mutant Registration Act ever actually becomes a thing, I fear for Corbin's safety. This year, Corbin has a 2.4 WAR in those 295 at bats. He has a 247 batting average, 331 on base percentage, 556 slug, good for an 887 OPS. He has 20 home runs and 44 RBI. And yeah, Candace, he's absolutely unhuman. You're not wrong about that. And it's just, again, great to see Corbin getting that nomination, making it back in time from this injury. It would have been terrible to see him miss the opportunity at his second All-Star game due to this hand injury. And now you have Mark Grace on the broadcast yelling about guys not being able to get out of the way properly, and I honestly can't disagree with him. Another guy who was also hit on the hand and came back extraordinarily fast, even faster than Corbin Carroll, is Eugenio Suárez. Eugenio gets his second All-Star selection and his first in 7 seasons. The last time he did it was in 2018 as a member of the Cincinnati Reds, and he was player selection over there at third base. He's the 36th Venezuelan-born player with multiple All-Star selections. And entering play today, he ranked among MLB leaders in RBI, home runs, slugging percentage, extra base hits, and total bases. So Geno has been having himself an incredible season. In 2018, as an All-Star, he entered the game for Nolan Arenado. Before the break, he posted a 312, 973 OPS with 17 doubles, 2 triples, 19 RBIs, and 19 homers and 71 RBI. That was his 2018 All-Star season. This year, Geno, of course, has been doing some big things for the Diamondbacks. Big reason why this offense is one of the best offenses in all of baseball. And, of course, he has those 28 home runs that, as you know, inches me one step closer. Piece of Yoshi said, has the teal beard counter been updated yet? Well, Ayrton, has the teal beard counter been updated yet? There he is. That stupid idiot. Look at him. Geno's not going to hit 40 home runs. He has 28 before the break, you dum-dum. Why didn't you let it stand at 50? Why do you open your big mouth? People were pointing out that when Geno got hit by the pitch, I also offered my beard up and sacrifice in order to get him healthy. So maybe my beard should be teal already. I don't know. I don't know the answer there, but Geno, again, incredible season so far. 252 batting average, 28 home runs, 73 RBI, is a 562 slug, 881 OPS. So both of those guys absolutely deserve that recognition for sure. But what maybe the rest of the team doesn't deserve any recognition, because the Diamondbacks lost to the Royals. They had Robbie Ray ruin our pool party, by the way, with his complete game. And the Diamondbacks looked terrible this weekend in every possible way, including having Anthony Descalfani start a game, which I warned you was going to maybe happen. And I warned you if the Diamondbacks traded Zach Gallen or Merrill Kelly was in our future. And I didn't like that one bit. Let's take a look at the numbers from this series loss to the Royals. The Diamondbacks get outscored 14-10. Big shout out to Desert Financial Credit Union, of course, for always having our back with these numbers. Royals out-hit the Diamondbacks in home runs 5-2. Royals were 7 for 24 with runners in scoring position. Diamondbacks were 6 for 26. Starting pitching ERA, god-awful for the Diamondbacks, 7.63. Terrible outings in this game, or in this series, of course. Eduardo Rodriguez had, once again, another terrible outing, which right when you started to believe, right when I started to believe, right when I started to tell you to believe, they didn't do, and he was terrible. 8 earned runs in 4 1/3 innings pitched. Meanwhile, Ryan Nelson remains the ace of this staff, going 7 innings strong, only allowing 1 earned run in the Diamondbacks' sole victory in this series. And then once again, Descalfani, 4 innings pitched, 4 earned runs there. Relief pitching ERA, at least pretty good. Diamondbacks 4 2/3 innings in game 1, 0 earned runs. 2 innings in game 2, 0 earned runs. 5 innings in game 3, 0 earned runs. That's the way that worked. So, right when the starting pitching ERA turns terrible, the relief pitching ERA is great. Meanwhile, for the Kansas City Royals, we have a 3.50 starting pitching ERA, 3.58 or 3.38 relief pitching ERA. And again, I think that the series finale was probably the worst showing here all the way around. I don't really understand the reasoning for the spot start. I know Torrey gave his thoughts, but I still don't really understand the reasoning for it. Not that Descalfani was any worse than Eduardo Rodriguez was in game 1 of the series. So at least there's that. He still gave him 4 innings and 4 earned runs to Erod's 4 1/3 and 8 earned runs. However, it really did feel like I don't know. Are we testing out Descalfani because something might be coming down the pipe? Is a trade going to happen to lose a starting pitcher? I mean, I don't really know. But yeah, 2BMC said Disclafani did fine. Him and Jarvis gave the team a chance to win. You're right about that. The offense was terrible in this series. They just looked, especially in the finale, they looked awful. They looked listless. They made Michael Lorenzen look like an absolute all-star stud, and it came at a time when honestly their offense needed to be at its best. We've said that this is an issue with this team this year, and that their record even being at 500 is a bit of an anomaly with how bad their starting pitching and relief pitching ERAs both have been. Right, they rank at the bottom of Major League Baseball in both of those categories, and you just can't typically win games when your pitching is as bad as the D-backs pitching has been. The reason why is because of the offense, and when the offense doesn't show up, the Diamondbacks don't have a chance. Like you said, 2BMC, absolutely. 4 earned runs typically is an opportunity for the Diamondbacks to win a game. In this one, they were only able to put up 10 earned runs, or 10 runs total in the series, 3 in game 1, and the loss in game 1, 0 on Sunday, and then the 7-run output there on Saturday that made you believe that maybe things were coming back and getting back to being where they should be. But that's just the way this season has gone for the Diamondbacks. At this point, I don't have any more litmus tests, measuring sticks left. I don't have any more way to gauge the success of this team. I think it's simply is what it is. This Diamondbacks team is a 500 baseball team in every sense of the word, and maybe even a below 500 team. I can't really see the reasons to add to this team at this point, because honestly, I don't really see a fight left in this team. I don't know what trades at the trade deadline can do. There are some moves that I would make, and I think that there is a way for Mike Hazen to maneuver away at the trade deadline where this team is neither necessarily a buyer or a seller, but can potentially do both. I would probably strongly consider trading Josh Naylor, because I feel like Naylor's value is extremely high, and there are a lot of teams that are going to be interested in him. I would also consider trading Merrill Kelly, because I feel like his value is extremely high. I would also make a deal with Merrill Kelly on the side that we're going to bring him back after the season. So those are the moves that I would make at the trade deadline. I don't feel like Zach Gallen's value is going to be high enough. And quite frankly, I still don't know how the Diamondbacks are going to fill out their starting rotation come 2026. So there's a good chance that Zach Gallen and the Diamondbacks most likely might be amicable or amendable or open to, I'm sorry, I'm not always good with words, but open to a deal right here where the Diamondbacks offer a qualifying offer and Zach Gallen accepts it. I know there are people that have said that that's a terrible idea. Maybe it is. Maybe Zach Gallen rejects it because, of course, Scott Boras isn't typically known for accepting qualifying offers. But if Gallen does that, then at least the Diamondbacks have a guy that you can hopefully count on. Hopefully, I mean, his ERA is starting to come down a little bit, so there's that. But I don't know about again what the Diamondbacks can really do to fill out their starting rotation for the first half of next year. I also don't really know what Torey Lovullo is doing in regards to his lineup construction, relief pitchers he's putting out there, things he's doing to win baseball games at this point. I don't really feel like there's a sense of urgency from this team, and that's what brings me to this point of basically not really feeling like they have a fight left in them. Not enough for me to see them making a bunch of moves that could further potentially put the future of this team in jeopardy, just to mortgage the future even further to try to win, this year seems like a failed attempt at this point, right? I mean, I just really can't see it. Let's take a look, of course, at where the Diamondbacks currently stand in the division, the wild card, and the drunken orgy known as the NL West. Drunken orgy of violence is what we call it around here, Ayrton. The NL West here, the Dodgers, of course, still sit atop of the division, despite the fact they got swept this weekend by one Christian Walker and the Houston Astros. Walker loves to hit home runs there in LA. Padres currently are 7 games back in the division, and they have a wild card spot. Meanwhile, the Giants also 7 games back in the division. They currently hold on to a wild card spot. Diamondbacks 2 games below 500 sit at 44 and 46. They are 11 and a half games back in the division, 4.5 games back for a wild card spot. Not great, Bob. Not great. Oh yeah, and the Rockies are there. The Rockies are still there. But of course, the Diamondbacks injury list gets even longer. And the Diamondbacks do have a chance to make up some ground in that wild card race with a series in San Diego coming up starting today. We're going to preview that series on the other side of this break, but we do have some injury updates to provide you with, and that is that Ryan Thompson, this hurts me, tea time, was placed on the 15-day injured list with a strained scapular, retroactive due July 5th. His replacement temporarily was Bryce Jarvis, who was recalled from AAA Reno and did a great job in relief in his appearance on Sunday. Also, much to the chagrin of Elise and Damon, who are trying to increase Pavin's trade value and get him out of here, Pavin was placed on the 10-day IL with a strained right oblique muscle. His replacement is infielder Tristan English, who we've talked about with some of our Snake Farm reports. He will be getting some time over there at first base. Meanwhile, Tommy Henry was also recalled to the Major League roster and placed on the 60-day IL with a left UCL surgery. So that's where he sits. And there's where we are at with the Diamondbacks in regards to some of the players. Tristan English getting a big opportunity. Bryce Jarvis also getting an opportunity. But I did want to take a moment just with this loss to the Royals this weekend. And I know a lot of people have questions like, how did Robbie Ray go as long as he did when Damon was brought directly to Chase Field to be as close to these players as he was? And Damon was very close. He was very close to Randall Grichuk, very close to Alek Thomas. It didn't seem to have an impact on their offense. It didn't seem to have an impact on the game. And I think I figured out the reason why. We have our group shot here, a wonderful group of people. I wanted to thank all of you guys that came out to our pool party. I felt like this picture is amazing. I got to admit, this picture, absolutely amazing. But if you can't really see it, there in the middle of this photo was this man, this criminal, and this baby. Shane brought this baby to Chase Field for reasons I can't really explain the reasons why he brought this baby to Chase Field, but the baby seems to have somehow some sort of dark magic and seems to have countered Damon's positive influence on this team. The baby, I can't even show my face around Chase Field thanks to that baby. He was holding it up. Shane was yelling at Randall Grichuk. Randall, look at the baby. Randall had to look at the baby. He's look at the baby. Look at the baby. It was, I'm so glad that the All-Star break is coming up because I can't go into the locker room anymore and look at Grichuk in the face after the baby incident. I'm supposed to go, yeah, I was with the guy with the baby at the pool. No. And not only that, but I feel like this baby has to be destroyed. Like I have actively said, like, the Diamondbacks overreacted to like the snake in the dugout and the vest and how like those things may have cursed this team. And I have felt like they are being silly, that there is no such thing as magic. And I've claimed to be on this show a man of science before, but this baby, I don't trust this baby. I just got done watching the Disney Plus series Ironheart, and I definitely feel like this baby is somehow influenced by dark magic, evil, something like the cloak, the hood thing. So I'm going to make sure that baby gets destroyed, and I'm probably going to be the one that needs to destroy it. I don't know. I'm going to get Ayrton's help on this, but we'll figure things out. On the other side of this break, we're going to figure the Diamondbacks out because they have a huge 4-game series against the San Diego Padres. And if you haven't already put this season into the over category, you might be prepared to do that if the Diamondbacks don't have a good showing in San Diego. We're going to talk about that on the other side of this break. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondbacks show. Well, if you want to make a bet if I'm going to make sure that baby is destroyed or not, a great place to do so is on VMe. On VMe, you can bet with anyone on anything at any time. Anyone, anything, anytime. VMe is the first of its kind person-to-person betting app. There's finally an app where you can bet with anyone about anything at any time. And wagers can be free or for money. You can put notes in there. You can make it for fun. But most importantly, you have record of that bet being made. You can bet on sports, video games. Again, come at me on Mario Kart. I've been racing on 150cc I'm not very good right now. I've been getting my butt kicked by Daisy quite a bit, but I'm refining my skills and I'm ready to take anyone on. And VMe is a great way to challenge me in Mario Kart World. It's also a great way to settle any kind of bet over golf games, poker nights, and especially fantasy football with the fantasy football season coming up. You can do 1v1 or group challenges. And the best part is no more chasing cash. If you don't trust the Venmo guy, nobody does. And you will have no more of those I will pay you laters, no more sore losers. All the money goes into VMe and you can all give that right to the winner once that has been decided. Download the VMe app and play today using code PHNX. Available on the App Store and Google Play. VMe, anyone, anything, anytime. Well, July is a time to celebrate. Hope you guys had a wonderful 4th of July. I know we did around here, but I also know it was still very hot outside, and a great way to make sure that you are saving some money this summer is to check out the Cool Rewards program available over at APS and the options that you have over at the APS Marketplace. A smart thermostat works with your APS rate plan to help you automatically adjust the temperature in your home. You can do it whether you are sitting right on your couch and you don't want to get up and walk to the hallway, or when you're away. You can adjust the thermostat up when you're away. You can turn it down when you want it cooler. And of course, for every degree you raise your thermostat, you could save up to 2 to 3% on your cooling costs. A smart thermostat makes it easy. Again, if you're home or away, you can always make sure that you're keeping an eye on what your cooling costs are currently at. APS customers can find instant rebates, discounts, and special offers on smart thermostats, energy efficient appliances, and more at marketplace.aps.com. Right now, APS customers may be eligible for smart thermostats as low as $0 when you enroll in the APS Cool Rewards program. If you already have a smart thermostat at home, you can see if it's eligible to enroll in Cool Rewards. Also, free installation is available at marketplace.aps.com. Must be an APS customer and pay shipping and taxes. Other restrictions apply. Go to marketplace.aps.com for more information. All right. Well, like I said, the San Diego Padres are here. It's time to face them once again, and of course, the news gets worse because Yu Darvish has returned and he is making his first start of the year against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Before we get to those probable pitching matchups, let's take a look at the San Diego Padres at a glance. This team is 5-5 in their last 10 games. They are 48-41 this season, as we just discussed with the NL West standings. They currently have a plus 12 run differential. Starting pitching ERA is 3.98, which is 15th in Major League Baseball. But meanwhile, that relief pitching ERA, just like the Giants, very good, 3.25, third in all of Major League. Meanwhile, OPS for their offense, not great, 690. That was a little bit of a surprise. Padres have been struggling there. That's good for 23rd in Major Leagues. And then they're outs above average currently at 5, which is good for 10th. So this is a team that the Diamondbacks have always kind of faced well. They've done a good job against, but also a big-time foe. And again, I'm done using the cliches about if this is a big series, if this is a must-win series. The time for must-win series are beyond us, my friends. They are in the past, and the Diamondbacks did not win those must-win series. They did not win those must-win games. They did not must-sweep those must-sweep series. So now they stand here, 4.5 games out of the wild card, not a lot of time before the All-Star break, and then beyond the All-Star break, not a lot of time until that trade deadline. So I don't have much of an answer as to what this season holds, other than I'm ready to wave the white flag and start taking a look at what the Diamondbacks could get in return for some of these guys with expiring contracts. Beyond that, I don't know, man. Maybe the Diamondbacks even make a move for some of these outfielders that they have a surplus of, though I feel like after this season, we have seen how quickly your depth can be tested and how much you need guys like Jake McCarthy, how much of a godsend guys like Ryan Nelson were, how big these guys have come up in replacement of injured players and making this team at least as competitive as it currently is, which, to be fair, after that Royals series, you could say not very. But let's take a look at the probable pitchers here for this matchup with the Padres. The Diamondbacks once again get the debut of Yu Darvish for the 2025 season, going up against Zach Gallen, who has lowered his ERA down to 5.45. He is 6-9 this season. Merrill Kelly, meanwhile, sits at 7-4 with a 3.55 ERA. He will start in Game 2 against Nick Pivetta, who has a 9-2 record. He has a 3.25 ERA and 107 strikeouts this season. Brandon Pfaadt gets Dylan Cease in Game 3. Brandon Pfaadt continues to struggle. He has a 5.42 ERA this year. Dylan Cease, meanwhile, can't really seem to get things together. 3-8 record for him this year, 4.62 ERA. Odd to see Dylan Cease as like the weak link in the starting rotation for the Padres currently. And then game 4, Erod gets his turn. He is 3-5 this year, 5.78 ERA. He is going up against Randy Vasquez, who has been very good. He's 3-4 with a 3.79 ERA, 49 strikeouts for Vasquez. So not a great time to face the Padres, but why not face them now? Why not do it now? I feel like now is the best time because with the struggles the Diamondbacks are experiencing, there's no reason to continue to face teams that are teams you should beat. I mean, let's get a true test against a team that currently holds one of the wild card spots the Diamondbacks are trying to get. And, you know, as abysmal as things look, a 4-game sweep of the Padres completely turns the season around. Not to say that they will do that, not to say that I have faith in that, but I'm just saying that is literally how quickly this season can be turned around. Mark R in the chat says, must be nice to have 3 pitchers under 5 ERA. Yeah, I don't know what that's like. Good question here. Wonder what the Cubs would give us for Geno. I know that the Yankees are also very interested in Geno. I also know that the Diamondbacks would like to hold on to Geno and bring Geno back, not to, you know, I know of the guys that are here that are on expiring contracts. I feel like Merrill is probably the top priority, and then Geno, number 2 behind him, then Zach, then Naylor. Then you also have Beeks and Shelby Miller, who also are on expiring contracts. I would probably move Shelby Miller up as a priority above quite a few of those guys, considering how well he's actually pitched for this team. But we'll have plenty of time for trade talk. I'm going to go on vacation to a beach this week. And then when I come back after drinking all of the rum in Puerto Rico, I will maybe have some better answers for you, or at least some crazier ideas to talk about trade deadline stuff. But there was a really fun article over at ESPN from Jesse Rogers talking about some of the craziest moments GMs have experienced in their time at the trade deadline. And our very own Mike Hazen had a fun story about being on a tropical island and losing a cell phone signal. That was during the time when he was going to make that trade for trading Dalton Varsho for Gabriel Moreno and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. And it was kind of hilarious to both relate to the panic of losing your cell phone your cell phone connection in Hawaii during a really important time in your career, because I interviewed for this job while I was on a beach in Hawaii on my cell phone and lost the internet connection. So can relate. Also, you definitely have the fact that the Diamondbacks won that trade, I think. Yeah, I think. But another fun part of this story was that Manny Machado was almost an Arizona Diamondback, according to Mike Hazen. This was during Mike Hazen's second trade deadline as a Diamondbacks GM. And apparently Diamondbacks were at the time running neck and neck with the Los Angeles Dodgers for the National League West. And Baltimore star at the time, Manny Machado, became available. He was set to hit free agency that offseason. Machado was a top trade deadline acquisition candidate, and the Diamondbacks were apparently in on him. He ultimately did go to the Dodgers, but apparently, according to a quote from Mike Hazen here, he said, "We tried to get Manny Machado from the Orioles in 2018, and Jazz Chisholm would have been in that trade." Hazen said, "We didn't trade Jazz, but that got us Zach Gallen in 2019. We don't get Gallen if we make that trade for Machado, so you never know." And yeah, there is an alternate timeline out there somewhere where the Diamondbacks potentially trade Jazz for Manny Machado, and maybe Manny Machado still leaves at the end of the season and becomes a free agent, and then the Diamondbacks basically lost Jazz for nothing. Instead, Zach Gallen came here and was one of the best pitchers, at least for a short amount of time there in Major League Baseball. But of course, that's positive Zach Gallen news, and we probably have more negative Zach Gallen news to discuss here coming up here soon in the future. But that's for a later time. Today is Monday, and you know what we do on Monday, and we're going to do that on the other side of this break. So don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, I told you about going and getting some last-minute tickets with Game Time. And again, maybe go watch something that makes you happy. Maybe not this Diamondbacks team play as of late, but if you do want to go to a Diamondbacks game, you can save with last-minute tickets. You can save up to 60% off by buying tickets last minute to any sporting event, concert, or more. Of course, you can check out the Game Time picks, which makes finding the best seat in the house even easier. They will highlight a particular seat, pair of seats for you that not only offer the best deal, but offer one of the best views available. They also have zone deals where if you don't really care about where you sit, you can select an area and Game Times will find a ticket for you in there for even cheaper. They have all-in pricing, so there's no surprises at checkout. And they also offer the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app right now. Create an account and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Ayrton, what time is it?
It's game time.
It's game time. Oh boy. All right. Well, of course, also another fun way to make sports more fun is with Bet365. It's never ordinary over at Bet365. Download the app, use our code of PHNX365. You'll get yourself some bonus bets, but of course, they offer a wide variety of markets. Of course, they also have 90 million users worldwide, and for good reason. Bet365 app is very aesthetically pleasing, easy to use. They pioneered live in-game betting, and they offer the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports. With the MLB early payout offer, you are a winner if your team goes ahead by 5 runs. With an instant payout on straight bets, parlay selections, all of that, those will all be marked as winners. So, of course, get down on the Bet365 app. New customers can get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use that code of PHNX365, deposit $10 and place a bet of $5 or more to receive $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, players, props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or over and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov. All right. Well, of course, this, again, not a great time in Diamondbacks season right now where they currently sit, and some very important decisions need to be made. And we're going to talk about those. Sure, we have plenty of questions in the mailbag, and you know what we do on Monday. Of course, every year is our year, except this year might not be our year, but every year is still the year of the snake. Every month on this podcast is Hispanic Heritage Month. Every week on this podcast, Shark Week, except I hope that's not the case when I'm out on a tropical island. And more importantly, every day on this very, very good podcast, at least in the minds of some people, is Earth Day, of course. But on Mondays, we go to the mailbag. Ayrton, can we go to the mailbag?
Let's get to it.
All right, what do we got?
All right, for our first question, coming from Wildcat Brian, is it time to trade Jordan Lawler and offer Geno an extension?
Well, I don't hate this idea one bit. When you talk about getting creative with the trades, I don't know. Of course, if this happened, Jordan Lawler would go on to become the greatest baseball player on the face of the planet. And I feel that in my bones. I feel like that's inevitable. But I am starting to come around. I think that it was a foregone conclusion in my mind that Eugenio Suárez was going to be, a free agent after this season and was going to move on. At this point, Geno's 33 years old, right? It's not like he is an old player. At this point, I would be willing to offer Eugenio Suárez a 5-year contract. I think that he has been consistent. I think his defense has been great over there at third base. I know he's had his moments this year, as everyone on the Diamondbacks team, in regards to their defense, but I don't know. I mean, seeing him hit bombs, having that power here, I would keep Geno here. That's something that I would very much want to see come, I would want to see. And again, this is no disrespect to Jordan Lawler. I just think that if there is interest in Lawler due to his potential and due to teams still needing that third baseman of the future, then maybe that's not the worst idea. I feel like the internal feeling is that they would very much like to keep Eugenio Suárez as a part of this team, but I don't know. I mean, I think that I don't hate this idea. I do think that sometimes there's a thing with prospects where it's not really working out, and the team, the franchise might not be in a position to have Jordan Lawler come up and be the third baseman of the future next year if he continues to struggle offensively the way that he has, right? So I definitely don't hate the idea of extending Geno and trading Jordan Lawler. I do feel like you're going to have to do something in regards to, the haul would have to be fairly significant. And then, yeah, I don't hate the idea of what Mark R says here. Lou James Groover has been excellent, and he continues to rise up through the minor league system. So Groover might be the Diamondbacks' actual third baseman of the future. They do have a couple of situations with some of their prospects that kind of block each other, or guys that are, playing second or, perhaps outfield that might never get an opportunity based on the Diamondbacks roster and the way they're currently constructed. So Jacob Franklin in the chat says Geno's future is at first base or DH. Again, don't hate that. Geno could just be over there at first base, make room for Lawler. If Lawler doesn't work out, then Geno Groover could be, oh my God, imagine having Genos on the corners, Geno and Geno. The promotional material writes itself for sure. All right, what else we got, Ayrton?
All right, next up from Jeremy. How likely is it that the master of biomechanics, Brian Kaplan, gets fired after this season? Pitching and health has gotten even worse since he showed up.
I've made my position fairly known on this, I feel like, but I can't help but notice how, just like with the rest of you, how many Diamondbacks pitchers have gotten hurt. And it's especially ironic considering that the person that they have in place as a pitching coach specializes in player health or athlete health. That's literally what what he specialized in. And maybe that's not what the Diamondbacks need anymore. I don't really know. I will say that with some of the ways that the Diamondbacks have only gotten worse, I will say, one, Brent Strong maybe wasn't the problem, and two, I wouldn't be surprised to see them go in a different direction at all. The one thing that Kaplan lacks is experience as a pitching coach. So maybe, the answer isn't bringing in a guy that specializes in player health as much as someone that specializes in pitching. So, and that's no disrespect to Brian Kaplan. I feel like he has the pedigree to do this. You just have to, after a certain point, take a look at the results. I mean, we've talked about, the Diamondbacks offense. You can't really blame what Mather has done with this offense and the changes that are consistently made to keep this offense as one of the best in baseball over the last two seasons. But yeah, I definitely find it, I'm with you. It's suspicious and it sucks that it's going on, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the Diamondbacks go in a different direction. What else we got?
All right, this one is from Desert Dog. At what point can we start talking about Torey's job?
Oh, this is going to please Killer Rex a lot. Oh, and I see Killer Rex in the chat is talking about Corbin being out there with a broken wrist. Well, that's because he doesn't have a broken wrist. There was a piece of his bone that broke off, and apparently the medical staff cleared him and Corbin's fine. And that's honestly why Corbin is out there. I have a question for you. Why do you think you know better? Why do you think that you know anything about his health, considering you're not his doctor or part of the medical staff? Did Corbin get removed from the game? I'm confused. I don't really know where that falls in or what the point of your question there is. But in regards to the Torey question, I'm sure that you're interested in that, as a lot of people are, right? I don't know the answer to that either. I do feel like Mike Hazen almost would need to go in order for Torey Lovullo to also be fired. We just saw that from the Nationals this week, where they fired both their GM and their manager. On one hand, yeah, I guess if you don't want those individuals running your organization, letting them go before the MLB draft coming up here during the All-Star break, it's probably a good idea. But also, I wouldn't want this for my team right now. I wouldn't want my team to be in disarray in the middle of the season like this. We've talked about historically in the Diamondbacks franchise, they've actually let their managers go typically around this time. We saw AJ Hinch relieved of duties. We saw Bob Brentley relieved of duties all around the July 4th weekend or before the All-Star break here due to, having bad seasons, due to poorly performing. I will say, on one hand, the Diamondbacks have plenty of reasons to be upset about this season. And I understand Torrey taking the fall. I also understand there being enough injuries that have piled up for that to be the true reason why this team would be seen as a failure this season over Torrey Lovullo's managing. Um, I don't think Torrey is in danger of his job being fired or in danger of being fired, but I think Torrey feels he's on a hot seat. I've heard Torrey bring it up several times. There comes a point where you feel like the only thing you can change is that manager. And if Mike Hazen and the front office believe it is enough to remove him, which I mean, it's hard to not be disappointed with the way this season's gone. It's hard not to look back at some of his managerial decisions and question them. I think you could do that for every manager in baseball, but it becomes more prevalent when a team like the Diamondbacks have lost as many late games as they've lost. They've had as many, bad bullpen performances as they've had. I like, it would not surprise me to see the Diamondbacks move on from Torrey. It wouldn't surprise me, nor do I think it would be that unwarranted, right? But I think that right now it's viewed as a catastrophic pile of injuries that has caused this team to perform the way that it's performed, and they are currently just 2 games under 500 and still in the wild card race mathematically. So yeah, no, I don't know if Torrey's job is going to be on the line at this point. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Diamondbacks eventually feel like they need to have a change of coaching staff, including Torrey Lovullo. And to be fair, they have a really good backup there in Jeff Bannister, who's, more than qualified to take over as manager. And to be fair, I feel like with his years, of being there at Torrey's side, I feel like it would be fair to give Bannister a try before you went out of the house to bring someone else in, right? But again, not sure if that's actually where we're at. Not sure, but anyway, let's go ahead. Jacob says calling for Hazen's job is objectively funnier than calling for Torrey's. Yeah, I agree with you on that. And again, Mike Hazen's done a great job, but I also feel like if you want to get rid of Torrey, you're probably gonna have to get rid of Mike Hazen too. Ernesto says the taco firing Hazen's silly despite his faults. Agree with you there. Sean says I've defended Torrey for his entire tenure, but essentially punting the whole damn season in that Giant series is just unacceptable. And I think you could say the same a little bit about the Royals series too. I think it was a frustrating thing to watch this team not put their best team out there, considering the importance of this stretch going into the All-Star break. Mark R says, I don't think Hazen should be fired, but he needs better advisors on acquiring pitchers. Maybe true. I don't blame him for the Corbin Burns signing. I mean, I don't blame anybody. I don't blame anybody for these injuries. It sucks, but it is what it is. So I still don't blame anybody for the injuries, but maybe it is somebody's fault. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am a shill, but I will say that this team right now is in a downward spiral, and things aren't getting any better for them as it stands. So if you're gonna make this Hail Mary, at the trade deadline and try to be a buyer and make a big splash, then I don't know. I mean, you might as well try to go ahead and go crazy and give Jeff Bannister a shot at manager at the same time, if that's the direction you're going to go. All right, what else do we have?
All right, next up from Michael, Saturday, 1:10 p.m. home games, yay or nay? My
God. That's a great question. These kind of came out of nowhere. I felt like this happened. I wasn't used to this happening. Typically, home games for the Diamondbacks are 5:10 p.m. or 7:10 p.m. Now, 1:10, I don't hate it, right? Everybody's saying nay in the chat. I don't hate it. It's a Saturday afternoon. What other thing do you have going on, right? But a Saturday night, I have plans. I have stuff I'm trying to do. From a perspective of doing a show, I would prefer a 1:10 game. Thank you very much. Can we get out of there by 4 o'clock, maybe 5 o'clock? We go have drinks at the bar. We still get in a good night. What are we doing here? Why don't we want 1:10 games? But apparently everybody is against them. Everybody is against them. And let's see. Jay Cuddy says it's too damn hot. Yeah. Jacob Franklin says, I'm usually busy in the middle of a Saturday afternoon. It's not my fault that you have plans. I'm busy on Saturday night. I'm busy on Saturday. Can I not be busy on Saturday night, Jacob? He's screaming at me. He has young children. My child's 14. Yeah, but Jay Cuddy says we got to line up for Cattell bobbleheads at Mother effing 2 p.m. All right. That's okay. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's not great. What time would you have to get there for a 1:10 start? Like 9 o'clock in the morning? That's not great. That's not great. Well, all right. We're going to talk some more. We're going to get a couple more Mailbag Monday questions in on the other side of this break. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, a great way to not have your weekend ruined by the Diamondbacks losing to the Royals is with Pure Edibles. Check out Pure Edibles and their wonderful products, which you can get all around the valley. They are a full-fledged candy company that offer a wide variety of strains, effects, and candies. They not only offer gummies, as so many companies do, but they also offer some hard candies, chews, which are like caramels, and they also have their kicks, which are like Starbursts. So make sure to check out the wide variety of candies that our friends at Pure offer. They also offer, like I said, a wide variety of effects, including a happy uplifting effect, which seems right on par for what's been going on with the Diamondbacks. So go ahead and check out the entire variety that they have to offer. Pure Edibles effects are clearly listed on each tin, so you know exactly what effects to expect. And they were designed to be ripped or bit in half, making them easily shareable or easy to dial in your exact dose. Pure was created in Flagstaff, Arizona at Noble Herb Dispensary, and now they are made right here in Phoenix. So go find yourself some Pure edible products from one of over 130 dispensaries across Arizona. And of course, Circle K is America's thirst stop. But if you have not signed up for the Inner Circle Rewards program yet, you are literally throwing money away. Right now, you can save an extra 25 cents per gallon when you buy 3 Coca-Cola 20-ounce products. They have cookies for $1 each. These are just for Inner Circle Rewards members, folks. You can save 4 times on 25 cents per gallon, which you can earn once per month. You also have 79-cent Polar Pops and 99-cent Frosters. Get your first 5 Polar Pops for free. And of course, you save that 25 cents off per gallon for your first 5 fill-ups as a new Inner Circle member. So join the Inner Circle for free right now by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. All right, what else we got?
All right, this next one, this is a good question coming from Travis. Football has Thanksgiving, basketball has Christmas Day, kind of. How do we get baseball to be more synonymous with what is included in the idea of 4th of July?
That's a great question. I mean, there is something to be said about the frequency of games on a national level, right? And the importance. Football games, obviously very important. We get to watch the Lions lose every Thanksgiving. That's always kind of a tradition, right? And then same thing with basketball, right? I think the big thing with basketball is that as much as we anticipate Christmas Day, right? We don't really have anything to do. We get up in the morning, we have breakfast, we open presents, we put batteries in, we play with our presents, play some video games, right? But then you kind of just sit around with the family in matching pajamas, right? So then you have a full slate of very important NBA games that are during the middle of the season that aren't nearly as important as they make them out to be, but they give you the full slate, right? So I think maybe that's what we need for baseball is like a full slate of national games on Fox. That would go kind of hard, right? Or if they did on Apple TV, it would drive people insane. They'd be so angry about it. But either way, I think that there is 4th of July is definitely a baseball holiday. I don't know. I think another great way would be to incorporate the Nathan's hot dog eating contest directly into a baseball game. Have it happen at a baseball game. Have it be the opening, basically the opening pageantry to a Yankees Mets game. That would be electric. That would go hard. That would be extremely great.
I got a follow-up for you.
Yeah, what do you got?
How long until the NFL extends their season to the 4th of July just so they can take over another holiday?
Yeah, no,
like
that
they
would
did
be a
with
very
Christmas?
NFL thing to do. That would be NFL stretches its season out better than any season without actually adding additional games to it, although they did add that 17th game thing. That really still throws me off to this day. Makes me feel old. Makes me feel like I grew up in a bygone era. I don't like that. I don't like feeling old. But there's also, I mean, it's only a matter of time. They did it with the UFL now, right? Like UFL's coming through and trying to take over during the summertime. I think maybe have the fireworks happen during the game, right? But not during a planned interval and not after a home run.
Mandatory night games with fireworks going the entire time, all around the stadium.
Now we're talking.
Yeah,
now we're talking.
Yeah, that's a 4th of July baseball game.
Like I don't know if you saw that the Brooklyn Bridge ceremony, but it was incredible. All the different fireworks and stuff. They had all sorts of different stuff, all sorts of colors. It was great. Sean says Sandlot style. Yeah, no stadium lights that night. The only lights are provided by fireworks that go off during an entire 9-inning 3-hour baseball game.
Stark difference from a 2 p.m. in July game.
Oh my God,
and I think a lot of people would love that.
We have nailed it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine living in that town? Like you have a 1-bedroom apartment, close to Wrigley Field, and you just have to put up with 3 straight hours of fireworks going off the whole time.
You gotta love the game. You gotta love the game.
You gotta live and breathe baseball is what you have to do. All right, what else do we got?
All right, rounding it out, Absolutely Arsenal. Good question. I'll let you read this, Derek.
Oh, Absolutely Arsenal asks, how do you pronounce PHNX? That's simple. We've established this. It's Finks. Finks. That's courtesy of Steve Gilbert. Since the day he first saw our hat, he called us Finks. He said we were Finksers. So I guess if you are a diehard, you're a Finkser. And that's where we are at right now. But that's still, I mean, I don't know how else you would pronounce it. Funny fact, there is an ad read that we do. I'm not going to call them out, but in the ad read, they say PHNX in the mandatory read portion. And then they have you say it again, but next to it in parentheses, it says spell out PHNX. And I don't know what they think we're also saying earlier in the ad, but definitely. I don't know how else I would say it other than PHNX. So funny lifting the curtain back moment. Also, there was a funny question from our guy, Piece of Yoshi. We didn't get this one as a question in there, but I'm going to read it anyway. According to Piece of Yoshi, there is a weird anomaly that's kind of happened here with the Arizona Diamondbacks where every year, one of the players of either the Diamondbacks or the Mets, who Piece of Yoshi is notoriously a fan of both of, even though we hate him for it. The Mets and the Diamondbacks always seem to have somebody get snubbed. Of course, it was Perdomo over Francisco Lindor. Then it was Pete Alonso over Christian Walker. Now this year we have Corbin Carroll getting in over Juan Soto. So I don't know how to break this curse. But it does feel like next year we are going to get the short end of the stick. So he asked who's going to get in above someone else that's deserving. He threw out a couple of names: Jake McCarthy, Ryan Nelson, Frankie Montas. I wouldn't be surprised if it's any of those guys, but it's going to be Ryan Nelson because Ryan Nelson is a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And he's the ace. He's the future ace of this team. He's the current ace of this team. And let's never, ever, ever put Ryan Nelson in the bullpen ever again. Mark, thank you so much for your super chat. Mark says, can we talk about Grichuk's reverse splits? He has an 805 OPS versus righties and a 658 OPS versus lefties, despite the rep of being a lefty specialist. And yeah, that could definitely be the case. Let me take a quick look at his splits, but I will say that I think sometimes that whole lefty on righty on lefty thing, I don't know if it's the best thing to do always. I feel like Randall Grichuk is one of those guys that has deserved more playing time and really hasn't gotten it. And again, his career numbers against left-handed pitching versus right-handed pitching are pretty similar. Career number 269 batting average against lefties, 243 batting average against righties. But looking at his numbers from this season, I'm sure he's probably had significantly less against lefties than righties, against righties. He's only had 54 at-bats against righties, hitting 296 with an 805 OPS, hitting 93 at-bats against left-handed pitching, 204 batting average, 658 OPS. So, yeah, I think the answer is get Grichuk in there against more pitching, period. Get him out there. I don't know. This year, he has a -0.2 WAR. And again, just not really a lot of playing time for Gritch this year, despite the fact that he deserves it. We're a fan of Gritchick around here. We standle Randall, and we also standle Vincent Gritchick as well. Also, big fan of his. But again, this year, 238 batting average with a 712 OPS overall for Randall. I still don't think the Diamondbacks' problem this season is offense. And even though they've had a couple of games, I mean, they brought it up that the game where they got shut out there in the finale against the Royals, where the team looked awful, and Torey Lovullo deserves all the criticism in the world for the way that that team performed in the finale. It was, I believe, the second game of the year that the Diamondbacks have been shut out. So offensively, again, that's a pretty impressive season that they've been able to put together, and a big reason why the Diamondbacks do not have a much worse record than they currently do. But again, now is a terrible time to be playing some of their worst baseball. June was a great month for them. July, not off to a hot start. So Diamondbacks have a big series here against the Padres. We will be back with another post-game show tomorrow night and on Wednesday. And then I'm out of here on Thursday. So I literally have no idea what's going to happen after that. And I mean, honestly, I won't lie. I'm probably not going to think about the Diamondbacks one time for 7 straight days, but I will be back eventually. So you guys enjoy that while I'm gone. I'm sure a lot of you will be happy. At least I know one guy in the chat that'll be happy that I'm gone for sure. But anyway, we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for your time. Like I said, we'll be back with post-game show tomorrow night after game 2 against the Padres. So please make sure to join us for that. In the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Cap_caveman with a K. This guy has one of the best Twitter handles ever. Is it just Freckled Mamba?
That's it.
It's Freckled Mamba.
Straight to the point.
It's straight to the point. I don't think that it tells you everything you need to know about him. Yes, he has red hair. Yes, he's going to dunk on you. And yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. That's where that's going to be. But again, thank you guys again so much for your time. We'll be back tomorrow. You can follow our show at PHNX_Dbacks. But as always, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So again, Sean in the chat says, Gracie said it right. If playing back-to-back games is an issue, you shouldn't be playing professional baseball. Gracie ripped into them. I think there's been a lot of ripping into them lately, especially from the broadcast, and rightfully so. I really feel like that was a lackluster effort from the Diamondbacks in a series against, honestly, once again, I can't even say a team the Diamondbacks should beat anymore. I feel like that's cliche. And the Diamondbacks really have lots of teams that they should have beaten this year that they didn't. Lots of series like this one against the Royals that they kind of let slip through their fingers. This one definitely, you can feel a lack of offense, really being the problem, kind of going back to game 3 of that Giants series. And since then, this team just really can't seem to get things consistently on track offensively. Meanwhile, pitching still remains a mess. Don't know what to do about pitching, but maybe some trades could help. Maybe if the Diamondbacks, as Jacob said, become both buyers and sellers at the trade deadline, they can do something to improve this pitching staff while at the same time maybe getting out from some of these contracts that are expiring. But like Sean said, again, well said, Sean. He said, we're everybody's get right matchup. Yep, that's what it seems like lately. But hopefully that's not the case against you, Darvish, even though we know what he's done historically against this team. So gonna watch that game, go cheer on the Diamondbacks, come back here tomorrow for a post-game show. Until then, we thank you guys so much for your time. We appreciate you guys joining us, and things aren't great right now. I'm not going to declare a time of death as requested earlier, but we might be talking about that before the end of this week. So maybe that'll make some of you happy, or maybe that'll make some of you very, very sad. But Diamondbacks again face the Padres. I have no idea what team's going to show up here again against San Diego. But like again, Sean said it right. I'm ready to be heard again. Ryan also says the Diamondbacks are now the team that other teams say they have to beat. Yeah, I'll stop saying that. I think I'll stop saying that. We'll take that one off the table for sure. But again, we thank you guys so much for your time today. Join us tomorrow. Until then, all of you have a wonderful evening. Cheer on the Snakes. This game starts at 6:40. behave yourselves, and remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it is so much more fun when you have 3 all-stars on your team and your team isn't spiraling down the drain.
We all silly like the mayor.